How many times have you told yourself you're going to start tomorrow? If you think discipline is about pushing harder, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to show you the simple switch that makes consistency feel good, not grueling. Be honest, we all do it. We stand at the start line of a new goal. Be it exercise, writing a book, learning a new skill, or waking up earlier. And we believe that the only way to succeed is to push harder. We think discipline is about putting our head down, gritting our teeth, and forcing ourselves through the discomfort. We view consistency as a relentless, white-knuckled fight against some inner demon called resistance. But what if we've had it backwards all along? For years, I believed the same thing. I thought success demanded suffering. I thought if I wasn't miserable, I wasn't working hard enough. I remember working 110 hours a week for 3 straight years in my early 20s. I felt like a machine, constantly shaming and guilting myself back to the desk, believing that this intense, aggressive self-bullying was the very definition of discipline. I was the king of the short, brutal burst of effort. And what was the result? Burnout. Complete, utter, soul-crushing burnout. I wasn't alone. I hear countless people, maybe even you, saying, I'm really good at starting, and then I always give up. I don't know why. Here's the simple biological reason why. You cannot bully yourself into long-term, sustained consistency. You can shame yourself into a week, maybe 2, of intense effort. But that approach will never lead to real, long-term growth. It's a guaranteed path to burnout and the cycle of start and stop failure. Why? Because your brain, at its most fundamental level, is wired to move away from pain and towards reward. It wants pleasure. It wants satisfaction. When you try to force yourself to do something difficult by using guilt or shame as motivation, what you're essentially doing is programming the task to feel like pain. Think about that for a moment. The harder a task feels emotionally, the more guilt, pressure, and self-criticism you pile onto it, the more resistance your brain will naturally and unconsciously build around that very thing you need to do. It's a vicious loop. You try to force a good habit. You pair the effort with emotional pain, shame/guilt. Your brain labels the habit as dangerous or unpleasant. You naturally start avoiding it. You feel guilty for avoiding it, and the cycle repeats. So when you declare, I just need more discipline, what you're really saying is, I need to learn how to make this feel good enough so that I want to do it. The secret isn't to fight the resistance in front of you. The secret is to remove the resistance completely so that taking action becomes the path of least resistance. Imagine the goal you keep struggling with. The workout, the writing session, the meal prep. Right now, it feels like a giant, imposing cliff you have to climb with one huge, painful leap at a time. The push approach is exhausting. But your brain doesn't like cliffs. It likes trails. It likes small, clear, low-effort paths that gently lead you toward the summit. This perspective shift changes everything. Discipline is no longer about punishment. It's about pleasure. It's not about pressuring yourself. It's about making the right choice the enjoyable choice. You have to learn how to make taking that action feel good. Not like a painful, arduous, soul-sucking chore, but like something you want to do. How do we start enjoying the things that matter most? How do we build that trail instead of staring up at that cliff? It all starts with our first strategic shift, the breadcrumb method. We've already established that your brain prefers a trail to a cliff, but what does designing that trail actually look like? It means we stop waiting for that magical feeling called motivation to strike, and we start designing momentum. Think about how most people approach habit building. They're trying to climb a sheer cliff face, the cliff. I need to go to the gym for an hour, do a full weights routine, and run 3 miles. The brain's reaction, massive resistance, avoidance. The moment you think of that goal, it feels like one huge, painful leap. It's too high effort, it's too high friction. And since the brain moves away from pain, you hit snooze, you open social media, or you find 100 other things to do. The hardest part, almost always, is just starting. This is where the breadcrumb method comes in. The breadcrumb method isn't about massive willpower. It's about creating small, clear, low-effort cues that irresistibly pull you toward the next step. You're leaving a trail of sweet, easy rewards, like those Reese's Pieces in E.T. to lure your mind along the path. You aren't trying to finish the 4-mile hike right away. You're just trying to take the first 2 steps. The goal here is to drastically reduce the friction associated with the start of your desired action. You want to make the starting point so ridiculously easy that it requires less energy to do it than it does to avoid it. Let's look at a few examples. If you want to work out in the morning, don't just think about it. Lay your workout clothes out the night before. Shoes, socks, shirt, everything. Right next to the bed. When the alarm goes off, your first decision is already made for you. You don't have to think about what to wear. The clothes are literally a breadcrumb pulling you toward the door. Friction reduced. Zero decision making about clothes. If you want to write that book, don't just sit down and stare at a blank page. The night before, open your laptop to the document. Write yourself a note at the top that says you have permission to write one messy paragraph. It doesn't have to be good. Friction reduced, the document is open, and the pressure for perfection is gone. You just need to get one messy thought onto the page. If you want to eat healthier snacks, stop relying on willpower when hunger strikes. Instead, prep one thing for the next day. Wash and cut up some fruit or chopped vegetables and put them in a clear container right at the front of the fridge. When you're hungry, the easiest snack available is the healthy one. Friction reduced. The healthy option requires less effort, no washing, no cutting than opening a bag of chips. The whole point of this system is to design momentum. You are not waiting for motivation. You are engineering the circumstances so that a little bit of movement begins naturally. And here is the truly magical part. Once that movement starts, the momentum takes over. Think about that long hike again. You stand at the trailhead, feeling overwhelmed. This is a 4-mile hike. It's hot. I don't know if I can do it. If you tell yourself, I have to finish the whole thing, you'll stay home. But if you use the breadcrumb rule, you just say, hey, just go out and walk for the first 5 minutes. You don't feel like doing it, you have permission to turn around. How hard is that? Not hard at all. You go out, walk for 5 minutes, and you realize my heart rate is up. I feel the sun. I'm already here. I feel pretty good. I'm just going to keep going. Once you get that little tiny bit of movement started, the rest of the journey becomes exponentially easier. Momentum becomes the reward. The more you can remove friction from the front end of the action, the more you will start doing the right thing without even thinking about it. It's about making the road to your goal a smooth, downhill path, not a vertical climb. By laying irresistible breadcrumbs, you stop fighting yourself and simply start following the trail that you wisely set up the night before. This small, crucial shift from waiting for motivation to designing momentum is the foundation of building a consistent, enjoyable life. You've seen how powerful momentum can be when you reduce friction. But the breadcrumb trail is only the first step, if you're ready to master all the steps. From designing your morning routine to intentionally creating those rewarding dopamine loops, I've laid out the entire blueprint for you. Grab my new guide, 30 Days to a Better You. It's a step-by-step system designed to eliminate self-bullying and make consistency feel natural and enjoyable. Stop forcing, start flowing. Click the link in the description right now to download your copy and start building systems that actually stick. If the breadcrumb trail is about making it easy to start, the dopamine loop is about making it easy to repeat. This is where we get into the cool science of your brain. Remember how we said the brain moves away from pain and towards pleasure? We need to use that hardwiring to our advantage. If you want to stick with something for the long haul, you have to teach your brain, like a well-behaved dog, that effort feels good. Sounds crazy, right? Effort is effort. But think about how you train a dog. The dog sits, you give it a treat. The dog sits again, you give it another treat. Soon, the dog starts associating the action of sitting with the pleasant release of the treat. A little spike of dopamine in its brain. You need to train yourself the exact same way. The goal is to intentionally pair the positive action, the effort, with immediate, satisfying feedback to reward. Your brain absolutely loves evidence that its effort is producing results. As Tony Robbins famously says, progress equals happiness. When your brain sees evidence of progress, it gets a little dopamine hit. That hit says, hey, that action you just took, do it again. This is why tracking, even in small ways, is so powerful. You aren't just doing the work, you're creating visible proof of your success. Here are a few ways to make progress visible and satisfying. The Don't Break the Chain calendar. Put a large calendar on your wall. Every single day you take the desired action, for example, writing, working out, meditating, mark a huge bold X across the date with a red pen. Once you have a chain of 3, 7, or 10 days going, your brain suddenly has a new motivator. Don't break the chain and start back at zero. The coin jar method. Get a clear jar. After every single workout, or after every 2-hour focus session, drop a coin or a marble into the jar. Seeing the physical level of the contents rise is tangible evidence of your discipline. You are physically seeing your progress accumulate. Track and record exponentially. There's a powerful principle. What is tracked will improve, but what is tracked and recorded will improve exponentially. If you're trying to lose weight, hopping on the scale every day is tracking. But if you hop on the scale and then write the number down in a notebook or app, you are tracking and recording. That simple act of daily recording makes the progress visible, turning a passive action into an active commitment. Once you start seeing that number go down, you naturally start making better decisions because you don't want to see it go back up. Progress that is seen becomes progress that is sustained. Don't let your wins go unnoticed. This step is the treat after the sit. Immediately after completing a target action, even a small, breadcrumb-sized one, you must give your brain a conscious reward that releases dopamine. The goal is to pair effort with satisfaction. These rewards should be small, quick, and ideally not something that sabotages the goal that is. Don't reward a healthy workout with a slice of cake. Try these intentional rewards. The sensory pause. Step outside and take 3 deep, slow breaths of fresh air. Close your eyes and feel the sun on your face. This signals a pleasant break in a job well done. The acknowledgement text. Immediately text your biggest fan, your spouse, best friend, or mentor, and say, "I just did my 30 minutes of writing." When they reply with enthusiasm, "That's amazing. I'm so proud of you." Your brain processes their positive feedback as a powerful external reward. The mirror moment. This might sound ridiculous, but it works. Go to the bathroom, look yourself in the mirror, smile, and say, "I'm proud of you. You did a great job." This small moment of positive self-affirmation releases a little hit of dopamine. When you do this, you are telling your brain, "This effort I just made to create the life I want, that felt good." If you're not doing something you want to do, it's because you are pairing the action with dissatisfaction, thinking about how hard it is or what if you fail. We must actively reverse this. By consistently pairing effort with intentional satisfaction, your brain begins to crave the cycle. Work, reward, repeat. This is how addiction works, and you can absolutely become addicted to positive habits. You're not turning into a robotic high performer. You're simply creating a life where the things that are good for you feel inherently good to do. We all know the feeling. You're sitting down to do something important, whether it's preparing a big presentation, working on a side project, or even just cleaning a very messy kitchen, and the sheer weight of the task makes you freeze. The feeling isn't usually, "I can't do this." The feeling is, "Starting this feels too big." When a task feels heavy, large, and looks like a mountain we have to climb, we avoid it. This isn't because we lack capability. It's because the cost of initiation, the perceived energy required just to begin, is too high for our comfort-seeking brain. The trick to overcoming this massive avoidance is a simple, powerful concept: shrink the start. You want to make the initial step so ridiculously tiny that it becomes easier to do it than it is to continue avoiding it. We are leveraging the momentum principle again, but this time, specifically targeting the emotional dread associated with a daunting task. Think of it this way: your brain is a machine that once turned on naturally wants to finish the job. It hates having things incomplete. The goal of shrink the start is simply to flip that power switch. When you feel that familiar feeling of heaviness and avoidance, you are currently telling yourself something like, "I have to clean the whole house," or "I have to run 5 miles," or "I have to write the first chapter." These are enormous, heavy concepts. Instead, dramatically reduce the scope. If you're dreading going to the gym, tell yourself, "I'm just going to drive there and walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes. That's it." If after 10 minutes you still hate it, you have permission to leave. What usually happens? You're already there, your heart rate is up, you're feeling good, and you finish the workout. But the commitment you made to yourself was tiny. If you're avoiding sitting down to write your book, don't say, "I'm going to write a page." Say, "I'm going to open the document and write 1 messy sentence." Or, even simpler, "I'm just going to write the title of the next section." That's all. It shrinks the mountain of writing a book into the molehill of typing 1 sentence. If you're overwhelmed by a messy house, don't commit to a full spring cleaning. Commit to, "I'm just going to wash 1 dish," or "I'm going to throw away 1 piece of trash." Once your hands are wet and you're standing at the sink, your brain naturally wants to finish the dish. And once that 1 dish is done, why not the cup next to it? The beauty of shrinking the start is that it completely bypasses the emotional resistance. It tricks your brain. The commitment is so small and non-threatening that you easily say, "Okay, fine, I can do that." You see, once you start, 2 critical things happen. Your brain realizes it's not as big of a deal as you made it out to be. The emotional dread was largely based on the idea of starting, not the reality of the task itself. Momentum kicks in. The psychological pull to complete a task you've already started is incredibly strong. You get that little shot of dopamine from the micro win of completing the start, and that momentum begins to do the heavy lifting for you. We often think discipline is about moving a mountain of work through sheer force. But true consistency is about using leverage. Shrinking the start is the ultimate leverage tool. It allows momentum, not willpower. Be the force that pushes you forward. So the next time you feel that heavy sense of avoidance, ask yourself, what is the smallest, most effortless action I can take right now? Don't commit to the finish line. Commit to the single, tiny step right in front of you. Once you take that step, the journey starts to unfold naturally, and you realize that the mountain was just a molehill of procrastination. We've made the action easy to start, we've made the progress visible, and we've learned how to shrink the dread. Now we get to the part that turns a good habit into a craved ritual, actively incorporating joy. This is the ultimate sustained fuel. For the longest time, many of us, myself included, were taught that to achieve success, we had to struggle. We believed the lie that hard work must be paired with hardship, and that we needed to white-knuckle our way through life. We thought success was earned only through a grueling, joyless process. We thought discipline and pleasure were enemies. But here is the final, most crucial secret to lasting consistency. Pleasure is not the enemy of discipline. It is the fuel of discipline. If you're consistently struggling to show up for your goals, it's not because you are weak. It's because you have not made the process enjoyable enough. You are allowed to enjoy the process. In fact, you need to enjoy the process. This final step is about elevating your disciplined actions from a punishing chore to a luxurious, sensory, and self-caring ritual. When you approach a difficult task, your immediate mental framework shouldn't be, oh no, I have to do this. It should be, how can I make this thing more enjoyable? You want to pair the difficult thing with something that is soothing, sensory, and feels exceptionally good. You are deliberately injecting joy into the moment of effort. For focused work/writing, don't just sit at a messy desk. Turn off the harsh overhead lights. Light a special candle that only burns when you are working on your deep creative project. Put on a playlist of beautiful instrumental music that you love. By pairing the mental effort of writing with the sensory pleasure of beautiful light, smell, and sound, you transform the hour of work into a comforting ritual, the mental shift. Writing is no longer a drain. It's a special time you reserve just for yourself, marked by the soothing glow of the candle. For working out, don't just run on a bland treadmill. Find the podcast or audiobook you are currently obsessed with and make a firm rule. You are only allowed to listen to it while you are moving. Or download a high-energy playlist that you love but only allow yourself to listen to when you hit the gym. The mental shift. Your workout is no longer about burning calories. It's the only time you get to enjoy that captivating story or those epic beats. The reward, the entertainment, is tethered directly to the effort, the movement. For meal prep, don't view Sunday meal prep as a chore. Put on your favorite feel-good movie or a fun stand-up comedy special while you are chopping vegetables. Grab a favorite non-alcoholic beverage and treat the kitchen time like a relaxed, fun moment of creation. The mental shift. The effort of preparing healthy food is now linked to enjoyment and relaxation, making it a sustainable weekly habit rather than a dreaded assignment. The key to this entire idea is reframing discipline as a profound act of self-love, not self-punishment. Think about it. You don't need any discipline to eat a giant pint of ice cream. You don't need discipline to binge watch TV all day. Why? Because those things are immediately pleasurable. However, you do need discipline to go for a run, to prepare a healthy meal, or to sit down and build your business. You need discipline to do the things that are good for your future self. When you make the ritual of doing good things for yourself feel special and pleasurable, you are affirming that you value your future. You are caring for yourself. The feeling is, I am doing this good thing for myself because I am worthy of a healthy body and a successful life. Not, I must do this horrible thing because I am lazy and must be punished. This mindset shift, from struggle to sanctuary, from punishment to pleasure, is what transforms temporary consistency into an enduring part of your identity. You stop trying to fight yourself and start looking forward to the moment you get to engage in the beautiful, enjoyable rituals you've designed for your own growth. Once you pair that joyful ritual with the visible progress and the tiny, irresistible start, you are no longer chasing motivation. You become the person who wants to work, who craves the feeling of taking action, because you have conditioned your brain to associate the effort with the deepest satisfaction.